Hey everyone, welcome to the latest sponsored Gamasutra Q&A. I'm Chris Graft, publisher at Gamasutra, and today I'm here with Nathan Huey, CMO at StackPath. Hey Nathan, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, my pleasure.
So let's get started with some questions. Can you tell us a little bit about your personal background and what exactly you do at StackPath and what StackPath is?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, like you already said, I'm Nathan Huey. I'm the CMO at StackPath. Spent about 20 years in the advertising and marketing of technology companies, and that's included, from working with Dell Computer and Texas Instruments all the way to a hosting company called The Planet, and then a company that was at the kind of the intersection of hosting and cloud called SoftLayer. We were acquired by IBM, and now at StackPath. And StackPath is a edge computing platform. So we have a cloud of services that are located closer to end users than is core or hyperscaler cloud. So that way it makes it really perfect, really ideal for companies with latency sensitive workloads like gaming, where lag and jitter and things just really kind of ruin the overall experience. And so at StackPath, I have the good fortune of getting to work tightly with the product team and tightly with the sales team to have a really strong sense of what it is that our customers need and want, and how we can answer those needs, as well as how we can tell them that we're answering those needs.
Mm-hmm. Great. And speaking of customers, we're talking to game developers here. So what exactly does StackPath do for game developers? Like what kinds of services do you provide?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually are in the game industry in a few different ways. First of all, we have a lot of game technology providers who are using StackPath. So, for instance, Network Next, they have a great game networking solution, and they're leveraging our platform to provide that, to make it where you can have the fastest routes between players or your game and your game servers and things like that. So the game technology companies themselves are using us, as well as game developers who are wanting to run their game servers or other workloads as close as possible in a distributed architecture, as close as possible, so that they have the fewest hops, the least latency between where the action is and where the action starts. So in terms of products, so we have virtual machines and containers and other computing services that are, again, like I said, they're closer. They're in the metro areas rather than out in a big server farm out in the middle of other farms, real farms, which it tends to take a little bit of time for that traffic to bounce back and forth. And so we're always excited to see the different ways that people figure out that they can leverage our services for their unique needs, and gaming companies seem to really quickly figure out those ways that they can use it for their workloads.
Yeah, and we're already touching on this, like you mentioned, latency and things like that. So, but when working with game developers, what do you find are their greatest needs, and how does StackPath try to address those needs?
Yeah, so it's still kind of early days in edge computing, and what is an easy layup for game developers is to say, well, first of all, we want X milliseconds or less of latency between whatever computing instance they have running or whatever, and so that's easy. Also, we came into the edge via content delivery network services, and as content delivery, as CDNs evolve into really a more sophisticated edge delivery kind of a service, game developers are using us, and we see their need for being able to customize content so that the in-game content can be tailored to a specific user, whether that's in-game advertising or even just in-game skins and things like that. And so being able to deliver that stuff on the fly, it not add a lot of overhead, that's a huge need. And then especially as they find ways to get their workloads closer and closer to end users, we're finding the need for having GPU based instances closer to end users, even to be an even bigger need. And we don't have those yet, but we're actively working on that, like on a daily basis, and hope to be able to talk about that even sooner than later.
Interesting. So obviously the past year and a half or so has been unusual. I'm wondering how remote working brought on by the pandemic has affected your business, over this past year. Will any of those changes that you implemented, will they be applied in the future? Has it shaped the business going forward?
Yeah. So of course it's changed the way we ourselves operate. We I wouldn't say that we were old fashioned, but we still really liked everybody being in a space together. Sure. And although we remarkably switched to the work from anywhere model, like pretty much overnight, and haven't looked back. So as far as the way we work, we're going to continue doing that. And we're even looking at ways that we can revise our, the office space that we have in different places, so that there is a place where people can come together and collaborate, when and as often as they need to, but really letting people be able to work the way they work best. And as I think most companies are doing. So that's changed. We also have been really fortunate in that our business actually has benefited from people having to stay at home, because the consumption of anything that's interconnected has just increased, or at least maintained. And so whether it's, our gaming customers, where they have many more people who couldn't go out and do things socially, so they were playing games and doing things at home, that increased the business, and also increased the work that we had to put into supporting them, as well as even that we have a lot of video delivery, companies, a lot of media delivery companies as customers. And of course, everybody knows that, the amount of traffic that's been going to those guys in the last 18 months has just been insane. So, so we're looking forward to, of course, as things back off to, getting to be a little bit more social and be more face-to-face. But really, we haven't seen, we've seen like the traffic and the demand for our platform go up and not really come back down. And we're not really expecting it to, as I'm sure all of your audience knows from their own businesses.
Yeah, interesting times. So last thing here, where can game developers go to learn more about StackPath and connect with you and your team?
Yeah, absolutely. So www.stackpath.com/gaming is a pretty good entry point to kind of see the ways that you can use our platform for gaming. And then, of course, branching out from there to the individual services that we have, and finding all the different ways that you might want to leverage those for your platform or for whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Great. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Thank you, Nathan, for joining us, and best of luck.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.